In the small English town of Hebden Bridge, surrounded by quiet hills and slow-moving water, life once felt safe and predictable. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, where children rode bicycles down the same narrow streets their parents once walked. But on a cold November night in 1994, that sense of safety vanished forever. This is the story of a 13-year-old girl named Lindsay Jo Rimer, whose disappearance and death still haunt West Yorkshire to this day. It was Monday, November 7th, 1994. The air was damp with the kind of fog that clings to the street lamps, blurring the edges of everything. Lindsay had spent the evening at a friend's house, watching television and chatting about school. She was polite, bright, and responsible, the kind of daughter who always called home if she was going to be late. Just after 10 o'clock, she left her friend's home, saying she'd be home soon. The walk should have taken no more than 10 minutes. Somewhere along that familiar route, Lindsay disappeared. The next morning, her mother Patricia woke to find her daughter's bed empty. At first she thought Lindsay had gone to school early, but when her bicycle was found still locked up near the family home, a sense of dread began to set in. Patricia called the police. By noon, officers were combing the streets, searching the riverbanks, and knocking on doors. The entire community joined in. People from nearby villages came to help, holding flashlights, searching the woods, the parks, the alleyways. They called her name into the cold air, but there was only silence. For days, there were no answers. Hebden Bridge was a small, peaceful town, and the thought of a child vanishing there seemed impossible. Local cafes hung missing posters. The news spread across the country. Lindsay's face, a school photo showing a shy smile and gentle eyes, appeared on every television screen. The investigation grew larger by the hour. Police questioned shop owners who might have seen her that night. One remembered seeing her walk past his store. Another thought he saw her near the canal bridge around 10:20. After that, she was simply gone. The search continued for weeks. Divers went into the canal. Police dogs searched the woods. But there was nothing, no clothing, no personal items, not even a clue. Her family waited through the holidays, praying she would come home. But by the time the new year arrived, hope was beginning to fade. Then, in early March of 1995, nearly 4 months after she vanished, a canal maintenance worker made a horrifying discovery. While clearing debris from a lock gate along the Rochdale Canal, he noticed something unusual beneath the surface. When divers arrived, they pulled from the cold, murky water the body of a young girl. It was Lindsay. Her remains had been weighed down by stones and hidden beneath the water near a bridge less than half a mile from her home. The autopsy revealed she had been strangled shortly after disappearing. There were no signs of sexual assault, no defensive wounds, and no clear indication of who could have done it. The town fell into shock. Schools held vigils. Shops dimmed their lights, and the canal, once a peaceful part of daily life, became a symbol of fear. Who could have done this to a child? And how had no one seen anything? Detective Superintendent Bernard Postles led the investigation. He called it one of the most complex and heartbreaking cases of his career. Every man who lived or worked near the canal was interviewed. More than 2,000 statements were collected. Dozens of properties were searched, but nothing led to the killer. Rumors began to swirl through the community. Some said a stranger had been seen near the bridge that night. Others whispered about a local man who'd left town suddenly. A few believed the killer was someone from within the community itself. Someone who blended in, someone who knew where to hide her. But with no solid leads, every theory dissolved into uncertainty. Lindsay's parents appeared on television several times, pleading for anyone with information to come forward. Patricia's voice trembled as she said she just wanted her daughter home, or at least to know what had happened. Her father Glyn stood beside her, silent but broken. They believed someone nearby knew more than they were saying. As the years passed, detectives returned to the case repeatedly. New teams reviewed the old evidence. In the late 1990s, advances in DNA testing offered a glimmer of hope, but samples from the scene were too degraded to produce a match. In 2015, the case was reopened again. This time, scientists developed a partial DNA profile, but even that wasn't enough to identify the suspect. Whoever killed Lindsay had left almost nothing behind. What makes this case so haunting isn't just its brutality, but its simplicity. Lindsay didn't walk through a dark forest or take a dangerous shortcut. She disappeared in a small, well-lit town, on a route she took nearly every day. And yet, no one saw her taken. No one heard a scream. No one noticed anything out of place. For investigators, the lack of evidence has been both the mystery and the torment. There was no forced entry, no sign of struggle, no clear motive. Her clothes were intact, suggesting it wasn't a robbery or sexual assault. The way her body was hidden indicated calculation. Someone who knew the area well and had time to act without being seen. Detectives revisited known offenders, checked alibis, and even consulted criminal prosecutors. Some believed the killer might have been an opportunist, perhaps someone who offered her a ride. Others thought it was personal, someone she trusted, but there was never enough proof to charge anyone. For Lindsay's family, the years turned into decades. Her mother still lives in the area, quietly keeping her daughter's memory alive. Her father Glyn passed away without answers. He once said in an interview that he replayed that night every day, wondering if he could have done something different, told her to call, picked her up himself, warned her not to walk alone. The people of Hebden Bridge still remember Lindsay. Every few years, the police issue another appeal for information. They release new photos, reminders, and even age-progressed sketches of what the suspect might look like based on witness reports from the time. But each appeal fades back into the same silence. Forensic technology continues to advance. Police still hold the original evidence, fibers, fingerprints, and DNA traces, hoping that one day a match will emerge in the national database. They believe the killer may have confided in someone over the years. A friend, a relative, a partner, maybe someone knows, but is too afraid to speak. And that is what makes this story linger, because it isn't just about a crime. It's about a small town that lost its innocence. It's about parents who go to bed every night without the truth. And it's about how even the quietest places can hide the darkest secrets. More than 30 years later, the canal where Lindsay was found still flows through the center of Hebden Bridge. Locals say the town has never truly recovered. On misty mornings, when the water is still and the air is cold, you can almost feel the weight of that unanswered question. Who killed Lindsay Jo Rimer, and why? Police have never stopped looking. The case remains open, officially classified as an unsolved murder. And somewhere, perhaps not far away, the person responsible may still be alive, still walking among the echoes of that night. For those who remember her, Lindsay isn't just a name in an old file. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend. A 13-year-old girl who should have grown up, gone to university, fallen in love, and built a life of her own. Instead, her story became a mystery that refuses to fade. If you have any information about the murder of Lindsay Jo Rimer, contact West Yorkshire Police or Crime Stoppers UK. Even the smallest detail could bring her family the justice they've been waiting for. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't vanish. It just waits beneath the surface, like an echo, waiting to be heard.